In this video, I want to just go over some reasons on why learning about personal finance and getting your money situation in order is important. If you're here at this course, you probably don't need much convincing, but hopefully from this video, you'll at least take away some more inspiration and also maybe some extra things to think about on your personal finance journey. So just starting with a basic question, can money make you happy? So I think using Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a pretty good framework to at least start addressing this question, and also kind of a good framework for just thinking about structuring your life in general. So this pyramid here is basically all the needs and the things that motivate us in life, starting from very basic things, and as you go up the pyramid, more subtle things that are more unique to kind of the human experience. So you see that the model is broken into kind of two sections: deficiency needs and growth needs. So the deficiency needs are the ones that you basically need to meet before you start thinking about anything else more abstract or more growth oriented. And so we see at the bottom here, we have physiological needs. So this is just like water, food, safety needs. So just, being protected from the elements and being safe from, crime, from violence, that kind of thing. Belonging and love needs. So this is like family kind of bonding, friends. Esteem needs are like things that you can be kind of proud of, So like having some status, having a job, all that kind of stuff. And then once you kind of cross these basic kind of human needs, you start getting into the growth oriented needs, such as intellectual stimulation, art, self actualization, which is related to kind of a delve into understanding yourself and your talents and your very deep desires and actualizing them. And then finally, transcendence, which is kind of a realization of the limitations of all this other stuff in life and the kind of desire to transcend it all. So this is kind of a spiritual quest, you can say. And so in order to even access all these kind of higher end needs, need at least to fulfill this base here. And so financial resources can help you definitely need these deficiency needs. So money, being financially sound, will help you secure your physiological and safety needs. Having a job, having financial security will give you an esteem, kind of like you'll feel proud of yourself. It's definitely a self-esteem boosting thing to be financially independent. And you can also kind of honestly finance a lot of the things that are needed for belonging, friends, supporting a family. So, you need to have your money situation right to kind of do that well. And once you have these kind of deficiency needs met, you can then focus on these other kind of desires and motivations in life. So, money maybe can't take you all the way to transcendence, but it can definitely secure the base of this pyramid of needs for you and help you kind of make use of this limited time we have to do these other things that are probably more spiritually or psychologically or intellectually stimulating to you. Okay, so I just wanted to talk, this is kind of pretty obvious stuff, but getting your financial life in order is just a part of adulting. So you need to have some basic knowledge of personal finance to do basic life tasks. So for example, housing, you need a roof over your head. So, renting or buying a house, you're going to have to need to know how to do that. Of course, some people can choose to live with family or whatever, but if you really want to strike out on your own and kind of establish your own space and your own home, then you're going to need to know the basics of how to do that. And a lot of that is going to revolve around your kind of financial life and situation. Transportation, you're going to need to be able to get around. So having a car, you know, you're going to have to know how to do all the things related to that. Health, So your body can break down unexpectedly and needs maintenance. So learning about health insurance, how to pay for unexpected medical expenses. If you can't work because of your health, kind of having a financial safety net for that. Education. And so getting an education is kind of cheap. You can just go to the library. But if you want to get an education and get a certification, this is kind of the key thing here, that can be expensive. So, how you pay for school, even thinking about what types of paid education is worthwhile, you're going to have some understanding of finances and kind of understanding the cost benefit analysis of paying for education. Financial planning, big expenses take long term planning. So, your retirement, at some point you're probably not going to be able to or want to work in older age. So, how to plan financially for that? You have to start early if you really want to do it well. If you have kids or family or you want those things, then they're pretty expensive. And so you need to kind of get your financial situation in order if you want to do those things and not be totally stressed out and wrecked over it. And then, just for travel, hobbies, fun, you need finances to do that oftentimes. So, just being able to plan for that. Okay, there's also psychological and personal life benefits. So, agency. Having financial freedom gives you, as an individual, more degrees of freedom to maneuver in life and allows you to kind of control what is happening in your life much more so than someone who is kind of not financially sound, living paycheck to paycheck. So, time is our most limited resource, and money can actually buy you more time. So if you, for example, figure out a way to retire earlier than, the typical 65, then you can have free time to do the things that you enjoy. And even before that, if you have your financial situation in order, you can take some sabbatical time. You can maybe work part-time instead of full-time and spend time on the things that you would rather be doing than working. There's also a concept of FU money, and this concept is that if your financial situation is in order, you're not obligated to stay in any job or obligated for any kind of financial gain because you've already set yourself up financially, at least at a minimum level, where if you're unhappy with a particular job or, kind of situation, you could exit it because you have the financial stability to basically say F you to whatever the situation was. So that's a very freeing kind of situation to be in. A job stops feeling like a job and you start only doing the things that you're actually enjoying and learning from and growing from. So, getting your finances in order can allow this kind of mental freedom to take place. Financial problems are consistently cited as a top cause of divorce and breakup. So, if you're in a relationship, marriage, money issues are often sources and points of contention. So, if you can get that in order, if you can get on the same page about finances with your partner, then, you can avoid a lot of problems that lead to divorce or breakup because you're sharing your life and including your financial life with this person and you're kind of tying your boat to them. So if you're not on the same page, if you're not well managed, then it's totally understandable if someone is not going to want to tie their boat to yours. Minimalism, restraint, and discipline as positive qualities and life principles. So when you learn to control your spending and really prioritizing what is important to you, you learn to differentiate between these words need and want. And you start really becoming mindful and intentional about what you're doing in life just by kind of managing your finances. And then finally, the ability to buy things and experiences you normally could not unless you amass some kind of financial resource. So again, home ownership. So this is kind of related to the safety and security of that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, travel, education, other personal growth programs. So we kind of alluded to this already. But these, have big psychological and personal benefits. And so, having the financial resources to do it could be very important. And, things like therapy, coaching, tutoring, having these things are pretty expensive. So having the finances to do it, can improve other aspects of your life. So again, just some more reasons to have your financial life in order. And I just wanted to end this video with some words of wisdom regarding personal finances. So, for investing, money doesn't grow on trees, but you can grow money. So, in this course, we're going to learn about how you can invest your money and grow it over time, because we're always faced with the possibility of either spending the money or saving it and allowing it to grow. So hopefully through this course you can see the benefit of delaying your consuming and investing instead, and allowing your money to kind of work for you. The earlier you get your financial life in order, the more time there is for the math of investing and saving to work for you. So this is another kind of key piece of advice, that the sooner you can start saving and investing, the more it's going to work for you. Because, kind of related to our last quote, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. So Albert Einstein, who is obviously a very advanced math guy, was even amazed by the way that compound interest works. And so compound interest basically is like how a snowball, you started off at the top of the hill, it's really small. And as it rolls down the hill, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger in a non-linear way. So even though it starts off at the top of the hill, just getting a little bit tiny bigger, by the time it's at the bottom of the hill, it's just growing kind of exponentially. So that's how compound interest works too. If you can start saving early, that little snowball, the longer the hill is in terms of basically the time you're invested, the more it's gonna be able to grow. So we're gonna do some videos and kind of talk about this concept more, but hopefully this idea of starting early has been kind of established. So budgeting, do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. So this is a quote from Warren Buffett. So basically, you should prioritize saving first, and kind of with whatever money you have left over, you can spend that and kind of limit your spending, but prioritize getting a savings plan and kind of a budget which allows you to accumulate financial resources. Make that a priority, because again, we talked a lot about the benefits of doing that. You are rich by definition if your income exceeds your expenses. So there's two ways to look at this. You have two components here, income and expenses. So you can either make more money or spend less to be financially wealthy. Why not do both? So, this is kind of, a two-pronged approach to budgeting. Learning to earn more through, maybe getting education, more skills, and also controlling your expenses. So you can do both. And then financial freedom. So there is rich free and poor free. I prefer rich free. So you hear about the kind of van life people who are, living on a very tight budget. They have very low overhead, but they're free. And so this is poor free, and it's cool. You definitely have your time, you can do what you want. But there's also rich free, where you have ample financial resources. You can still do the van life, but you're not having to, do things to kind of save money. You have the financial cushion to live simply, but also not worry about money. This is actually a quote by Steve Wynn, who is a casino developer in Las Vegas. He has some other properties around the world. So this is kind of a quote by him. Money is a terrible master, but an excellent servant. So again, if you are in debt, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you got credit card debt, money has become your master. You are working for paying your bills, you are working for paying off debt. But if you can save, if you can invest, then the money becomes an excellent servant. So hopefully you've learned something in this video, and you're motivated to go into kind of the more nitty gritty content of this course to gain the knowledge to kind of implement a lot of the things that we've talked about in this video.